Hey there, and welcome back to the channel. So the other day I went to a sports card show, and I wasn't really expecting to pick anything up. I thought, oh, maybe I'll find some packs, some 90s cards I can pick up and open up here on the show or something like that. But to my surprise, when I got there, there was a couple comic vendors. So I was able to go through there and find some stuff, and luckily one of the vendors had a lot of dollar books. So I got a pretty big haul here of dollar books. I got around 100 issues. And I got one pretty big for me personal key that I'll show at the end. But first I want to go through all these fun dollar books I got. And I picked these up from Loyal Dog Comics. So this is his card he gave me. His information has changed. He's just moved. So I don't have like his current info, that kind of thing. But look him up. Again, I found a lot of books here from him, all for $1. And I got some books that weren't necessarily dollar books. But because I bought so much, I got a good discount. So I think I paid like maybe around 90 cents for all these, all said and done. So yeah, I think that's about how it worked out for all the dollar books. So didn't even pay $1 for them. So that's nice. So starting off, we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 385. So this isn't necessarily something on my list, but I'm always kind of on the lookout for Mark Bagley Spider-Man issues now and then. I just kind of get in the mood to read these sometimes, so I'll pick them up, and again, I'm not going to pass it up for $1. Then I've got Batman Grendel Devil's Bones. So this was the second Grendel Batman crossover by Matt Wagner. I got some issues of Batman and Robin Eternal. So this was the follow-up to the Batman Eternal weekly series. So I found issues 3, 11, 12, 15, and 18. So yeah, still, I think there was like 52 issues. This was either 52 or 26. I can't remember now. But I'm still looking for most of those. Then I found some issues of Batwoman from the New 52 run. So I found issues 4, 10, 18, and 21. Next, from Dark Circle a couple years ago, the Archie imprint, I found some issues of Black Hood. Again, I'm a real big fan of the Mighty Crusaders characters, kind of going back to when they showed up in the DC Impact stuff in the early 90s. And Black Hood was one of my favorite characters from that. So I found issues 3 and 5 from this run. And I think these are Greg Smallwood covers on here. Yeah. So I really like his covers, so I was glad to find these. Then I found some issues of Chase. This is a book I've started to look for. I'm kind of just looking for like some more 90s stuff to kind of add to the collection. Been on a kind of a 90s kick lately. So I found issues 2, 4, and 9 of Chase. From Image, I found The Crush number 3. And so this was part of the Motown Machine Works imprint. I have a couple other books from this, and I'm always surprised when I find another one because I think there's maybe 5 total of The Crush, but I've never seen them all. The first issue is pretty easy to find. I feel like there was sort of a big push for that when that imprint started. So I have issues 1, 2, and now I found the 3rd. So maybe I'll find the 4th issue next. We'll see. Again, kind of going back to the 90s DC thing, I found a lot of the first run of Damage from back in the day. Again, I have the first issue of this, and I think I have number 12, which is like the photo cover. But I found a few more here. So I found issues 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, getting into the Underworld Unleashed crossover, 19, and 20. So yeah, bulk of the series here, so I'm only missing like maybe 3 or 4 more issues of this till I have them all. Then I found the second issue of Deadshot from this miniseries from a few years back that I never picked up. I found issue 50 of Deathstroke. Kind of a cool cover there, him running through the sewers after a bomb. And then I found this book, Death Wish. So this is issue 2, and this is a Milestone book that I had never heard of before. So I'm not real familiar with this. I didn't get the Milestone books as they were coming out back in the day, but I'll pick them up now if I find them for the right price. And yeah, so I don't remember seeing ads for this. I don't remember seeing this on the shelf. This is a completely new thing to me, so I went ahead and picked it up. I found an issue of the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund Defender. So this is the winter 2015 issue, and it looks like we've got an interview with Frank Miller, and we have a cover here by him too of Santa going down the chimney, it looks like. So I picked that up. And then I found the second issue of the Eclipso series. Again, this was Giffen and Fleming, and Bart Sears did the art on this back in the day. Then I found some issues of Empire Uprising. If you're not familiar with Empire, cannot give this a higher recommendation. So this was Mark Waid and Barry Kitson kind of doing their take on, like, what happens if a super villain wins? Like, what happens when they do run the world? You know, so the main character has won. He's a villain. He controls the world. There's a rebellion against him. He constantly has to kind of question his subordinates, make sure no one's out to overthrow him or kill him. And so this was a mini-series they did through IDW called Uprising. This might have been like an online first series they did too. I think it was. I'm not 100% on that. But I found issues 2 and 3 of this. Again, I really wish this would come back. I think this would make like a great TV series too. I don't know if you can call it Empire because of the Empire TV show from a few years back. But just a great story. And if you find this somewhere, pick it up. I've got Fantastic Four #1 from a couple years ago, the Ryan North run. I didn't get this when it came out. I was kind of just sort of fresh off the Dan Slott run, and I'm a pretty fair weather Fantastic Four fan. So it has to have like a really good run for me to be interested, so I passed on this when it came out. Again, not going to pass it up for $1. Then I found some issues of Firestorm from the 80s. Now, these weren't $1. These were in a box that was labeled 3 for $5. But because all the discounts I got for all the stuff I bought, it worked out to like less than $1 per issue for these. So I found issues 6, 8, 9, 10, 14, 17, 18, 19, 21, looks like we got Killer Frost in that one, 22, yeah, 25, 26, 27, 29, 30. This is a really nice Gil Kane cover. I really liked this one when I found it. And 49. So I think there was 100 issues to this run, so I've got a nice chunk of them now. I have a few random ones from before. But yeah, well on my way with this series. And so now here are some more of the books I picked up, since I can't put them all on camera together in one big stack. So again, from the Dark Circle imprint from Archie, here's The Fox, #4 by Dean Haspiel. Then I found Freak Force #7. This was a Savage Dragon spinoff book. And again, I'm slowly putting this together. I think I just have a couple more issues to go. But it's not something I'm not, too vigilant about finding. I just kind of pick them up when I find them for the right price. Then I've started to get some of Jeff Johns' Hawkman run. So I found some issues of this. So I've got numbers 11, 14, 15, 17. Looks like we have Animal Man in this one. 18, 20. And then we've got Impulse. So I found a few issues of Impulse's run from the 90s. So I found issues 1, 5, 26, and 27. From the, I guess, relatively short-lived Topps comics in the 90s, I found this issue of Jack Kirby's Secret City Saga. So this is #2 of 4. I don't even think I have the first one. But I found this one, and so this is a cover by Steve Ditko with John Byrne. And we've got some of the Kirby characters here with Bill Clinton, apparently. So yeah, this book, just this cover looked crazy to me. So it's like, I'm not going to pass this up. I'm going to go ahead and pick this one up. I might find the rest of these. Again, I don't think they're too hard to find, and you usually find them in the dollar bins. Then I just found a random issue of Jonah Hex I was looking for, so this is 61. I was buying this series as it was coming out back in the day, but I just fell off at a certain point. Probably just had too many books coming out I was buying at the time. But this is one I was missing, so I went ahead and picked this one up. Now, this is Magneto #1 from Cullen Bunn's series. And I swore I already had this one. I'm kind of putting this series together. I've read them all online on Marvel Unlimited. But yeah, I thought I had the first issue already, but I don't. So I went ahead and picked it up. Again, another really good run if you want a good Magneto story. I think it was like maybe 20-some issues. It wasn't too long, but it's all pretty solid. Another 90s DC book I picked up was Major Bummer #1. This was a series that I kind of remember hearing about when it came out, but then once it ended, I feel like I've never heard a word about it since. So I thought I'd check it out. The only issue they had was #1, so I got that. But yeah, I want to try to find the rest of these. I think it maybe lasted 12 issues or so. Then I found issue 55 of Man of Steel. Again, I'm a big fan of the Louis Simonson, John Bogdanove run. You know what? I met John Bogdanove once at a con down in Metropolis, Illinois. And I don't know if I'm saying his name right or not. I should have asked him when I met him, but I did not. Found The Mask of Zorro, #4. So this is an adaptation of the movie. And we got the photo cover here with Antonio Banderas as Zorro. I'm slowly putting together the Project Superpowers run from Dynamite. And so I found the second issue of Masquerade here with this nice Alex Ross cover. Found an issue of The Ray I was looking for. So this is #4. Again, kind of in the same vein as Damage of, 90s DC books I'm looking for. I found this random issue of Red Tornado from a miniseries. I think this is the second miniseries of Red Tornado. Found issue 4 where it looks like we're getting Red Volcano. This one was kind of a bummer. So this is issue 26 of Ruse. This was kind of one of the only cross-gen books I care about. And when I bought these, all these dollar books were bagged and boarded. So again, another plus. But the problem is this one has a sticker on the cover that I thought this label was on the bag, but it is on the book. So that kind of bums me out. So I'm going to try to find another copy of this, but I've got this I can read, and it was $1. You can't complain too much. My only issue is this is the last issue of the run. So I don't know if it's harder to find or if it's a more expensive book, that kind of thing. Fingers crossed I can find it for a decent price relatively easily. I found this Dark Horse book, The Shadow and the Mysterious Three. I hadn't seen this before, but I like The Shadow. I'll pick up his books when I find them. And this is labeled as fall issue, but it looks like this is the only issue there is. I don't think there's any more to this series than this book right here. Stray Bullets is a book I've thought about picking up lately. Again, it's just like one of those books you hear good things about all the time. I've just never read it. And I found the 7th issue here, so I went ahead and got that. Going to try to find the rest of these. Again, kind of a theme here with this haul is 90s DC books. So Superboy and the Ravers is another run I'm kind of slowly putting together as I find them. So I got issue 10. And then I found issue 8 of the Teen Titans 90s run. So this was the Dan Jurgens run on that book. And slowly putting runs together. This is issue 343 of Thor. Again, I'm really kind of whittling away Walt Simonson's run on Thor from back in the day. I think I've only got a few more to go on this. Then I found Threshold. So this was a sci-fi book that DC did during the New 52 with another Green Lantern character in it. And it looks like we've got Blue Beetle in here too. And again, it's written by Keith Giffen, who passed away not too long ago. So I'm a big fan of his work. And, kind of another theme of this haul is I'm not going to pass it up for $1. So I got issues 2 and 3. And these have like some nice Howard Porter covers on them too. Issue 5 here with Brainiac. Issue 6. Issue 7. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. I think there's 8 issues to this total. So should just have a couple more to find on that. Then I found this issue from Vertigo, Tom Strong and the Planet of Peril #1. Again, Tom Strong is another run I'm just kind of putting together as I go. I found issue... What is this? This is issue 19 of Untold Tales of Spider-Man. So this was like a retro book that Marvel did back in the 90s. Found issue 5 of Wanted by Mark Miller. So Guy Gardner Warrior from the 90s is a book I'm not necessarily looking for. I have a couple issues of it, but I saw this story is called Emerald Fallout, and so it looks like this is dealing with the repercussions of the Emerald Twilight story from Green Lantern, where Hal Jordan kind of goes bad, and it looks like we're kind of dealing with the death of Kilowog here. So I wanted to check this out. Again, Kilowog is like one of my favorite Green Lanterns, and he died in that story, so it looks like this is kind of wrapping up some of that. I found issue 4 of the We Are Robin series. So we've got another Eclipso book here. So this is Wonder Woman Annual #3 from 1992. So this was part of the Eclipso, The Darkness Within crossover. I realized the other day I have a lot of these issues already, so I'm just kind of going back getting the annuals that I don't have. Again, back in the day, DC would do big crossovers throughout the annual issues in the summer. And so, like, each issue was a different chapter in the story. And so this is the Wonder Woman part of that from back in the day. I found some issues of Young Justice, the first volume by Peter David and Todd Nauck. So I got issues 6, 8, 11, 15, 17, 23, 33, and 39. And then I found an issue of Young Justice, and so this is the cartoon adaptation. So this was the Cartoon Network HBO Max series, which I really like and I enjoy. And I'm pretty sure that the comics and like the game and the show and everything kind of flows together as like one big story. So again, this is another series I'm kind of putting together. And what I really want to do is kind of get all the Young Justice cartoon related ephemera and just kind of go through the story as like one big piece. So that would be kind of reading the comics and watching the shows in order and that kind of thing. I think that could be fun and kind of telling like a bigger story with that. And so that's all the dollar books that I got. But that's not everything I got, because I picked up this issue here. So this is the Raphael one-shot from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles back in the day. And so this is the Mirage special that came out. And this is also the first appearance of Casey Jones. So I paid for this pretty much what I paid for all the other books in the video previously. I really like picking up the Mirage Ninja Turtles comics because that kind of blew up right as I was getting into comics as a kid. And like the first issue of Ninja Turtles is always going to be out of my reach. I think the book went for like $400 when I started collecting as a kid, and I didn't have $400. And now it has just kind of increased as my income has over the years. And so it's something I will probably never actually own. So I really like getting the old Mirage issues like this. And it's maybe kind of hard to tell here on the video, but this is sort of the larger format too. So it's a bigger book, like the first few issues of the Mirage Ninja Turtle series. And so yeah, it is in black and white, you know, because it's from the Mirage run. But yeah, this is a book I've wanted for a while too. And, you know, there's reprints and things, but I was really happy to find a first print here. So, yeah, I really like the old school zipatone and sort of the gray shading they did on the books back then. So, yeah, really glad to pick this. This is kind of a highlight of what I picked up at the show. Again, you know, really happy to have all the dollar books, too. It takes, you know, like 100 books off my list, so that's nice. But, yeah, this is definitely the highlight of the haul for me. So what do you think of what I picked up today? Again, I really like the Ninja Turtles comic, but, you know, I got 100 other books too that I haven't read yet. Is there something really good in there you think I should read right away? Have you gotten anything good lately? Let me know in the comments below. And thanks for watching. If you'd like to follow me on social media, I'm on Twitter/X at Detective651. Also on Instagram at Detective651. Be sure to check out my t-shirt store at tpublic.com/user/detective651. I've got a lot of nerdy designs on there, and there's sales all the time, so check it out frequently.